G'day and welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to have a look at self-managed superannuation funds and some of the key benefits. My name's Robert Gowdy and I'm a financial advisor with Consortium Private Wealth. So look, in recent times, there's been a lot written from the regulator ASIC with regards to making sure that people that have a self-managed superannuation fund understand their responsibilities, and particularly given that a lot of the advice being given to set up self-managed superannuation fund, and sometimes it's been a bit of a cookie cutter approach where people are setting up funds, rolling over industry funds or other funds to then go and buy investment properties and other higher risk strategies where there may be only one asset within the fund and a lot of debt. So clearly the regulator has some concerns, and so they should. But there are quite a few benefits that we should consider when we're thinking about self-managed superannuation. So I think firstly that what people do like is investment choice. Particularly direct property becomes more attractive and other unlisted assets. So the ability to have transparency and choice is really important, and direct property is a big part of that for some people. I think it should be known that a lot of the new funds that are available now might be Hub24 or Net Wealth, a lot of the wrap accounts. There is a huge amount of flexibility there now to incorporate direct assets such as listed property trust, all the unlisted managed funds, and direct equities, including direct international equities. So I would say the platforms from a technological point of view have caught up to give a lot of flexibility that you don't have to have a self-managed super fund to access direct international shares. If you have a unique property, your own property, well, that's where it becomes a little bit more complex, and a self-managed super fund is probably the only option for you there. Business real property and tax planning strategies, that's one that in my area of advice, where I deal with a lot of business owners and a lot of farmers in our rural setting here, placing some land that the farmer would already own or a business property, so it meets the definition of business real property, and it can be acquired by your own superannuation fund, and you set up a very tax effective lease between your own business and the superannuation fund that you own as well, and it's a great tax reduction strategy to implement, particularly as people get closer to retirement and the balance sheet is stronger, and the profitability hopefully is sound and improving. You can have up to 4 members, so that gives the ability for family members or people to pool their assets to give them the critical mass they need. In reality, I do not see many funds more than 2, and that's essentially a husband and wife. So I can't think of anyone on my books that are more than 2 members. You can have obviously an accumulation account, so that's where you put your money into superannuation, any superannuation account. But within self-managed super funds, you have the ability to have one accumulation account. But if you've met preservation age, and you can kick off a transition to retirement pension or retired and kick off an account-based pension, you can have multiple pension accounts. So that means that you can segregate an account, an amount of money that has a higher taxable component, and then when you put more money into the accumulation account that is, say, non-concessional, that can roll completely tax-free with no taxable component within it. So it means that down the track, if you need to take lump sums out, you can cherry pick from the pension that has the highest taxable component, as that money going to non-dependence, non-financial dependence, has extra tax implications, so it gives us a lot of flexibility there. Transparency, I think this is a good one, and something that my clients have enjoyed, whether it's a superannuation fund or it's a non-super and we've just invested directly in their own names, is what do they hold? We love to invest directly. So if we like Microsoft or Google or Magellan or CSA, we'll buy them directly. So the clients get the see-through of the assets of what they've purchased, how many they've got, what they've bought them at, and where the capital gains and or losses are currently sitting. So I think that gives a real sense of ownership, and for me that's a huge part of heading down that path of utilising direct assets and investing directly as much as possible. And of course you can do that without utilising a self-managed super fund. You can do that in your own name or one of the new platforms that allow you to access direct shares, both Australian and international. Now, the cost of running self-managed super fund compared to retail or industry funds can be cheaper. So one of the reasons why I've put a lot of work into self-managed super funds, all those 15 years ago, to say, right, what does the offering look like for clients? How would I like it to look? And the way I built things was, I was never going to set up a self-managed super fund to then load up with managed funds. To me, that was just a double laying of fees that weren't necessary. So if I set up a self-managed super fund, we're going to go directly as possible and reduce fees. So when I'm coming up against, say, people that have been with a bank and they're in a product, that's generally a pretty easy win to reduce the fees. Even against industry funds in pension mode, particularly with a lot of critical mass. The bigger these funds are, the more efficiently they run. It can be quite cheap. Of course, on the flip side, where people don't have enough money, and I have seen people being recommended to go into a self-managed superannuation fund with as little as $75,000, these things are never going to run efficiently, and they're going to cost you a whole bunch. And this really moves on to the last part of the video is, are they for everyone? Well, no, they're not. There is a huge amount of responsibility to be a corporate trustee or trustee of a self-managed super fund. It's akin to running a small business. It doesn't come with all the regulatory I suppose safeguards that a public offer fund, a retail industry fund have. So there's certain things that are missing from a safety point of view that, and at the end of the day, the buck stops with the trustee. So, you might delegate financial advisors and accountants and auditors to do the compliance and the investment work. But if it all goes bad, the buck stops with the trustees. So there's no coming back on them at all. So look, not for everyone, but a fantastic tool for people that love control, people that love running their own businesses in the past, that love that control. They are a very good option for them. So thanks very much for listening. Please subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. And as always, we've got a lot of resources down in the description area. We've got free online courses from superannuation co-contributions to finding the right asset class. Some work from Peter Thornhill there, so please go down and check those out. And give us the thumbs up, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.